Audit and Finance Committee meeting to order. Thank you all for joining. Majority Council, will you call the roll, please?
Sure. Willingham, Joyce, and Lakakis are excused. Reedy?
Here.
Alec? Here. Smisso?
Here.
Malowitz? Bergdorf?
Here.
And Grimm?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you.
Yay.
Let's
Got a quorum.
begin.
The first item is approving the previous meeting minutes.
Motion for Mr. Misso, second for Mr. Grimm. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous?
Items 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are tabled at request of sponsor. Item 7 is requesting authorization to cancel certain unenforceable delinquent tax liens against 562 Clinton Avenue located within the city of Albany.
Mr. McGuire, thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Audit and Finance Committee. Happy New Year. Happy to be here. Item 7. Let's see. We're requesting you to adopt a resolution to cancel unenforceable taxes levied against 562 Clinton Ave. 562 Clinton Ave is the Church of Jesus Christ. It's been a functioning religious institution for over 100 years. There was a clerical error made on the 2016 and 2017 assessment rolls, which granted a 99% exemption instead of a 100% exemption. So they received a tax bill for 1% of the property of the value. Those bills went unpaid, and it's beyond our 3-year statute of limitations to proceed with the normal correction of errors process. So I'm here asking for a resolution that be granted under section 1138 of real property tax law to cancel these unenforceable taxes. The total amount that is to be canceled, if approved, is $354.50.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, if I could,
Mr. Grimm, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair. I've talked about this before. How are these mistakes made in the first place? Why would somebody think they have full exemption and then give them a 99% exemption?
I share your confusion on this one. I don't have a good answer for that. I mean,
Because we see all
churches-
these mistakes, and there's some of them are, from professionals, they say, what?
Yeah.
I know people make mistakes, but how could you make a mistake like this?
This one was on there for 2 years, then they caught it, and then the bills just never got paid. Right, so typically what we've seen is a lot of religious institutions, when they receive a tax bill, they just file it in the circular can, and then they proceed down this path. So that's what I believe happened in this case. But the law does allow for the corrections. Typically, we catch it within a 3-year period, but in this case, we did not. So
Thank you.
Here we
Thank
go.
you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else? Take a motion. For Ms. Alex, second. Mr. Bergdorf, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
We're going to skip to number 9, which is authorizing the release of right of reverter and reentry of title to 26 Trinity Place in the city of Albany.
So 26 Trinity Place was conveyed to the Capitol Hill Improvement Corporation in December of 1998. The deed contained a right of reverter which would return title to Albany County if the Capitol Hill Improvement Corporation failed to meet certain conditions that were outlined in the deed. All the conditions that were outlined in that deed have been met. So we're requesting that the legislature were to authorize the release of right of reverter. In this case, the Capitol Hill Improvement Corporation was to secure a loan to rehabilitate the property. That loan was secured in 2012. The property has been rehabilitated, and a visual inspection of the property conducted in October of 2024 indicate that no conditions of blight or decay exist on this parcel.
Any questions? Mr. Bergdorf.
What is the Capitol Hill?
Mr. Berdorf, I'll be honest, in '98, I think in middle school. I'm not too sure what they did. So
this is a dormant organization?
Well, it's still, the property is still owned by an active organization. What they're trying to do is actually sell this property. And when they were doing title work on the property, looking at the deed, they discovered this right of reverter that was written into the deed, and it was never taken out of the deed. So we need to provide the release so that way they can sell the property.
The reason
Clear
for
title.
my confusion is the name of it sounds like it's a quasi-public organization. Is it a private organization?
They have a tax exemption, which a real property tax exemption under Section 420, so it would mean that they are a non-for-profit organization.
What's the name of the company?
Capitol Hill Improvement Corporation.
They did rehab work at Clinton Ave.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a little bit beyond my
They're almost like Vulcan used to do. Remember Vulcan?
Yeah, I do.
Same thing,
Okay.
different company.
Thank you.
I was around then.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago for me.
Any other questions or discussion? I'll take a motion. Motion from Ms. Alex, second from Mr. Grimm. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Item 8 is authorizing the conveyance of real property located at 75 Clinton Avenue.
Good evening, members. So this request is to authorize the sale of 2 county-owned properties located at 75 and 77 Clinton Avenue in the city of Albany to previous owners. The Garland Brothers Funeral Home has been owned and operated by the family since 1929. Taxes on the property were delinquent as a result of Benjamin Garland's declining health and sudden death in 2023. The Garland family has sufficient funds to pay $200,000, so the current proposal is for the county to foreclose on the lien and sell the parcel back to the family.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Gary.
Run that past me again.
Sure.
Slow.
Yeah, absolutely. So
They owe us
basically,
200,000.
yes, so the funeral home has been delinquent on taxes for several years for a litany of reasons, COVID being one of them, yeah. They have the sufficient funds to pay off of that lien that is currently owned on the property.
200,000.
Yes, so the county will foreclose on the property and then sell back to the Garland family to,
So we're gonna foreclose for how much?
for the $200,000. So the county will retain 187 of the 200,000, and then the remaining 13,000 is going into a budget line for overpayments. So due to a Supreme Court case, Tyler v. Hennepin County, if the property is to be sold, there's a potential for new ownership to sue the county for the cost between the 200,000 and the 187,000. So that's basically protecting the county in the.
So we're gonna get 187,000
Yeah.
from Garland family.
Yes.
Actually, we have full 200,000. 187 goes directly into the general fund like a normal. This 13, you're gonna see this more frequently as it happens. This was a Supreme Court case not too long ago. They're still hammering this out at the state level. We're gonna earmark this money off to the side in its own little like escrowed account. Not really, but basically its own little escrowed budget line here in the accounting system in case something comes to that. But this is going back to the same family, so it won't be, there's no illegal takings either way, is my interpretation of that one.
Thank you.
Paul, go ahead.
The memo that Jeff Neal did, in the 4th paragraph, it says, the Garlands have already paid the delinquent taxes on several parcels, but are unable to raise sufficient funding to pay the interest portion of the current bill. How much is the interest portion of the current bill? And are we forgiving that?
Yes, so
We never did that before.
Well, that's why
I never did that before.
well, let's hear the explanation.
So the family has the sufficient funds to pay $200,000, which covers the amounts that the county's made whole to the city and the school district. So the current proposal is to foreclose on the lien, sell the parcel back to the family, which would then extinguish the interest portion.
Okay. It sounds like, in addition to the 13, we are forgiving some other interest portion. I'm trying to quantify what the interest unless I'm reading this wrong. It says they can only afford $200,000 and they cannot afford the interest portion of the current bill. Now, obviously, normally in the backup that we get, we see what is principal and what is interest. So what I'm trying to figure out here, trying to get you to tell us, is what was the interest on that $200,000?
Sure. So I believe Jeff Neal might be able to answer this a little bit better than I might, but my impression is that the 187 was the delinquency and then the interest was the 13,000.
Now, let's not go with conjecture. Let me actually get the exact numbers to you guys. Because in the details here of the court stuff, it gets into one parcel at 84,000, of which 70,000 of that was interest.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
I don't see the other one here though, and I don't want to speak in error on this. But this was a deal that was worked out through the bankruptcy court, through Judge Pettit, to get this kind of moving here.
Well, it's wonderful for the bankruptcy court judge, but if we're giving up, $70,000 worth of interest on one parcel, and we don't seem to be able to know what the interest is on the second parcel, I think it kind of, Gary says this has never been done, or not aware that it's been done before. I'm concerned about whether or not we're creating a precedent here.
Yeah, no, understood. I do.
So I think there needs to be some really
Circle back, yeah.
full disclosure on this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to get that information for you. I do think this is an effort to, as well as, collect delinquent taxes owed to the county, also provide ownership back to a locally owned, black-owned business that has been owned and operated since 1929. It's going back to the family, so I think that's...
I understand that, but it should be, if that's the case, it should be done with full disclosure.
Sure,
No,
absolutely.
let me get the exact details to you next month, that's fine.
Thank you.
Do you know of any other cases where we forgive the interest like that?
I don't
I
have an
don't either.
encyclopedic
I mean,
knowledge. I know
We've had
all
a
the
lot of
ones I
small
presented.
businesses come before this committee, not just,
Yeah, I'm a little
Garland,
uncomfortable
and
with
we
this.
didn't back down.
Yeah.
Understood, but
So
also,
is this a court order?
there is a court order in here, that's part of what is a
That's why we're doing
complicating
it?
factor here, yes. But let's speak to the lawyer who
table
navigated through
this?
this, it was Greg Rotnick.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Can we table this?
I'll entertain that motion.
I'll motion to table it.
Motion, Mr. Malowitz, second, Mr. Bergdorf. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thanks, gentlemen.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
There's an additional item 10, which is amending the 2025 Department of Human Resources budget for excess insurance. It is in Greenwich.
So, Mr. Chair, this is Sharon Kofold. She is the acting Commissioner of Human Resources right now, kind of holding the ship together while we rebuild, as you guys saw during the Personnel Committee. So, take it easy on her, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
You should start your negotiations looking for the 6-year term.
My name is Shannon Colville. I'm the Acting Commissioner of Human Resources. I'm here this evening to request your approval on the excess insurance policy with Safety National for our annual premium. This excess insurance covers claims for Albany County self-insured workers' compensation that exceed the specific cost limits. Once again, this is renewed annually, but due to the premium increase of $112,420, we are asking for your approval.
Any questions?
Motion moved.
Make a motion for Mr. Malowitz. Do I have a second? Second for Ms. Alex. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Shannon, you were so persuasive about this.
Thank you.
Good job.
I will
Have a good
take
evening.
a
You take
motion
care.
to add your Mr. Bergdorf, second Mr. Kamiso. All in favor? Opposed?